Vegetation monitoring is a process which allows ecologists to assess changes in composition, structure, and condition of vegetation in an area over time. Through monitoring, we can gain data on things such as soil fertility, biomass, spatial distributions, ecosystem processes, and biotic and abiotic threats. This knowledge then permits investigation into the processes that influence these changes. Through well-designed monitoring programs, we can establish whether biodiversity objectives are being met, detect changes, implement appropriate management responses, diagnose the cause of changes, and assess the success of management actions. Before plots can be established, several jobs need to be undertaken. These include submission of the sampling design proposal, reconnaissance of your plot, and a submission of the shapefile. Once these have been approved, a team can be put together to establish the plot. Training in the vegetation team is a critical step in ensuring the accuracy of the data collected. A team that has not been trained properly in protocol and procedure will not only significantly hinder any data collected, but also make it incredibly difficult for the recensus team to do their job effectively. When choosing the location of our vegetation plot, we should ensure that it is located between 100 and 500 metres from the nearest path, road, or access point. The plot should also be of homogeneous soil and vegetation type, which means avoiding things such as rocky outcrops or watercourses. To achieve this, we may need to move the vegetation plot, and details of how to do this can be found in the protocol. Prior to monitoring, a full list of equipment should be obtained from the protocol. Vegetation plots can be set out using a series of poles and string lines. Baselines should be run to 100 metres in length, creating a 100 by 100 metre square area. The plot can then be divided at 20 metre intervals to create subplots, which make the monitoring process more manageable. Measurements and angles should be checked repeatedly in order to ensure the accuracy of the design. For any large trees found along the perimeter of the plot, a decision must be made about whether or not to include it in the data. A tree should only be included in the plot if more than 50% of the cross-section at breast height lies inside of the perimeter. Once the plot has been established, GPS coordinates can be marked and sent to Team Data Repository for approval. The first census must be undertaken within a 4 to 5 week period during the dry season. All stems with a diameter equal to or larger than 10 centimetres must be measured, painted and tagged. When measuring trees, data should be taken at 1.3 metres above ground level. The tree can then be painted and tagged at 1.6 metres above ground level. Now the paint and tag should face the opposite direction of which you entered, so that in 1 year's time the recensus team can walk in the same direction as stated by the protocol and not miss any of the data. Movement through the plot should be conducted as seen in the diagram, and all points of measurement marked and tagged with a unique number and recorded for later analysis. Problem trees are a common occurrence and cover a range of attributes such as damaged or deformed, buttress or stilted roots, inclined trunk, uprooted, dying, or even dead. These situations will require different measurement methods, and specific instructions can be found in the monitoring protocol. Problem trees such as an inclined trunk should still be measured at 1.3 metres on the back side of the incline. Trees that appear to be dead should still be included in the census for the following 3 years in case of misidentification or regrowth. If problem trees are encountered, a special record needs to be taken of their location and how their data was collected. Once all stems have been measured, each of them can be given a reference point in relation to the nearest corner of their given subplot. This data can then be recorded and handed into the Team Network Data Repository. Recensus occurs each year in the same 4 to 5 week period as the first census. During recensus, new growth can be marked, painted, tagged, and added to the existing database, as well as updating information on previously measured stems. The same processes as the first census should be followed each year, which highlights the need for recording any relevant information about the first census accurately, such as problem trees and how the situations were handled. Between census dates, vector specimens can also be taken and analysed by botanical experts to determine the species structure of the area. The Team Vegetation Monitoring Protocol is a detailed and well-structured document which is a key part of recording accurate vegetation data. While the possibility of yearly environmental changes and difficulties in collecting data are always present, the protocol is able to resolve almost all easily foreseeable issues. Human error, however, will always be an issue, but the simple and direct explanations of procedures make its use both practical and efficient, as well as reducing the risk of different interpretations of the information.